the kind of yanking gravitational vortex sensation of being forced back out of the simulatrix and into the reality of the actual world, in Frode's terms, getting your souls back. You find yourself standing in the kind of dingy, crumbling cabin, and standing there in front of you, just as there was last time, there's Chasm Jasper, the Gold Guardian, and next to him, in an armored suit with some red embellishments, is the Ruby Knight, who's not been introduced to you by name yet, but was here to supervise your exercise. You were essentially sent into a past crisis that the Gemstone Guardians had already solved. And they said, let's see how you perform in this circumstance. And so they threw you into the simulatrix. And the first time you had a bunch of civilian casualties, so they made you do it again. And the second time you managed to solve the problem without any civilian casualties. So they decided, hey, we're going to pull you back out of there and we're going to move on from here. And so as you're all kind of adjusting, and it is a little bit nauseating, a little bit off balancing just to be, brought from a demiplane back into the real world, and you are kind of standing there reeling and trying to figure everything out. And so as you're kind of doing that, you hear the voice of the Ruby Guardian, who is just starting out with, I guess, a little bit of evaluation of all of you. But as your vision fades in, you see that he's not looking at you or addressing you. He's talking to Jasper, who is next to him. He says, unoriginal, slow to adapt, lack of teamwork or communication, and even in a simulation, they needed a do-over. Jasper, this crew was made for you. Let me know if the world out there gets too big for you. I'm sure I can loan you a Ruby Warden or two. Men. And he walks out, his kind of shining, glistening armor, a stark contrast to Jasper's worn, kind of, dented and battle-scarred armor that he's wearing, and leaves you in the quiet of the cabin with Chasm Jasper there looking at you. He takes a couple seconds and steels himself. All right, well, that wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't amazing, but I think we can work with it. And I think that, like Coldfoot said, I think the biggest thing for us is to work on our communication as a team. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to run a bunch more exercises like that over the next month, just to try and really turn this into a team before we start going out there and facing like the big situations. So I think that's pretty much the
sir.
Yeah.
I think perhaps you should work on your bridges. That was horrendous bridge work, if I may say so myself.
Frode, I know you think you're contributing meaningfully right now, and I appreciate that you are giving us your insight. But I want you to understand that the bridge was not the problem in this scenario. This is critical because we're going to send you into many situations like this, where things that are correctly constructed find themselves suddenly volatile or in danger because of magic being unstable. This was a wild magic incident. This is specifically the kind of occurrence that you are being brought here into this team to tackle. Yes, Armis. Yes, Armis.
I don't mean to interrupt. Thank you for clearing things up with the rock one. I'm sorry. Are you going to let that guy talk to you like that? You're Chasm Jasper, my man. You're an absolute legend. It's going to be hard for me to follow along with someone so awesome if he's just going to take flack from some young little piece of crap.
Did I'm young?
What? No, I was not. Did I not address that? Please go find a wall to punch.
Okay. Frode starts punching the wall.
Come on, Jasper. It's hard to watch, Why didn't you say nothing?
Look, man, it's not. We are a team and we are a united front, and just because some of the younger Gemstone Guardians don't know how to work as a team does not mean that it is my place to stoop down to their level and, create any kind of infighting. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for the same thing, and that is the safety and well-being. Where did this tape come from? I don't know. We are responsible for the safety and the well-being of the citizens of Gaim. You are going to be responsible for the citizens of everywhere else. So our responsibility is way more important than his, and, he just probably doesn't like that he got passed up for the opportunity, and that's probably all there is to it.
I mean, sure, but you just said, you guys have your teamwork and you don't need to communicate, but we're actively talking about how the four of us need to have better teamwork. So why can't you I don't mean to challenge you too much, buddy, but it just seems like a little upsetting.
I just want to know why he has to stoop down. I thought the red one was taller than him by a little bit, so I'm a little confused.
I'm sure there's at least one more wall that needs to come
right
down.
now is to start with some PT. So let's go ahead and do some laps, everybody. Let's get out there and check out some of the territory near this building. And as you step outside of the cabin and kind of onto the mountain path that led you up here, it is a stone path. You were able to get a cart up it, but it's in disuse. This area, this little cabin, and really all of these kind of mountain keeps have been disused for almost 100 years. It's been since the Darkening. That Gaim has really even needed a military presence outside of itself, outside of the city-state. And so the path is kind of overgrown and mossy and whatever, but from here you have a beautiful view of the sunset and kind of the distant, mountain range which stretches off north and south of you, and you have kind of this overview of just what the whole world looks like. And you've got to one side of you, there's the Great Plains that lead over towards central Urada, where Stainless used to be. To the other side of you, there is kind of the wilderness that leads to the east before kind of stretching in towards the ocean. And far to the northeast of you is the Jungle of Songs and the city of Arivale. But from here, it feels like it's just you in the world. There's nothing else to see. There's nothing else to experience. And so even though it is PT, it's kind of nice out. And Jasper kind of says, all right, so from here, I'm going to send you all from this point, and he points over at the neighboring peak of the closest mountain, and he goes to that point, and then back here again. And if you can't make it, if you're not physically fit enough, don't worry, there are people here who are safeguarding you. They'll come in and carry you, but it'll probably be really embarrassing. And by the time we're done training, I can't send you out back into the world until you can do this run. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to go ahead and try and clean some things out in the cabin here, make some space for you. When we get back, we'll start turning it into a little bit more of a home. And
Jasper?
Yep.
Is there a time limit?
It's not a time limit, but the faster you do this, the more faith I will have in you and your continued survival, and the sooner we can stop training and doing stupid stuff and get out there and start responding to real world crises and adventures and stuff like that.
I was going to ask if your faith in me was needed, but I think you've answered that question because I don't want to do stupid things anymore.
Here's what I'll tell you.
Here's
what I'll tell you. The faster you make this run, the more money I'll pull out of the budget for you to turn this place into a little bit more of a functional home away from home. All right?
Must it be a run?
Be what?
A run.
Yes. Well, run, a hike, whatever. However fast you can do it is how fast you can do it. But yeah, and try not to die because, it is still wilderness and there could totally be ciphers or wild magic or anything like that. But hey, that's what you're out here to learn how to deal with, right? So if something happens, then something happens, and we'll go from there. As he's talking, you can see off in the distance to the east, there's just a tiny little dark cloud that is almost floating by itself. It doesn't seem to be moving or doing anything weird. He doesn't seem to have noticed it as he's talking to you, or perhaps is pointedly ignoring it. But you just, out of your periphery, you notice that there's just this one little dark rain cloud that it's not raining, it's not moving, it's just perfectly still out there far to the east.
Oh, there's a sad fairy over there.
Yeah, someone ripped a nasty one over there. Am I right, fellas?
All right.
Well, that's a different understanding.
Well, start running. And he sets off a flare to kind of trigger your running experience. And
Willard is going to burrow his way.
Yeah, he is. Go ahead and let's use, so your burrowing is going to help you with speed, and it's going to make the path a little bit easier. This is a mountain range, so it's a difficulty 6 task to get to the other peak, and then a difficulty 6 task to get back. So 2 target rolls of 18.
Holy cow.
We're going to be maneuvering here. However, in addition to the difficulty of completing the hike, the higher you roll or the more you ease this task, the better your time will be. So there's kind of just a sliding scale there of how far can you beat the difficulty of the task by. And the higher that number is, the better the result for you.
Are we going from like peak to peak? So there's like a divot.
Yeah, so you're gonna basically be running down and covering through. There's a little bit of woods, a little bit of stone, whatever. It's kind of a mixed terrain travel.
Would you say that navigation is like something that causes the difficulty to be so high, or is it mostly just the distance itself?
I would say it's some of both. I mean, it's tricky terrain for sure.
Frode will crouch down, grab his knees, and just tip forward.
Okay.
And he'll just roll down like the boulder he is.
Okay. Well, if he can handle I'll give you two options here. Okay? I'll give you two options here. If you tank the environmental damage to your might pool, I'll let you ease the speed task of actually doing this run, because you would move faster, but you would not be steering very well. So I imagine there's going to be some bouncing off of boulders and falling into little divots and things, So if you want to just tank that damage, then you could do this. However, you could alternatively roll a might task with a difficulty of 6, because that's how challenging this travel is, and see if you can avoid the damage and ease the roll.
I would like to use my ability Muscles of Iron.
Okay.
Bring that down to there. And that eases all might-related tasks that are not attacks.
Okay.
For 1 hour.
Okay.
And then I think I'm just gonna try to roll might defense going down to try to resist as much damage as I can.
Okay.
How does that sound?
I'll let you try it. So that'll become a target roll of 15 for you, because it's a difficulty 5 with you easing it by 1 step.
Also, I'll you know what? Before I go rolling down, can I pick a good spot? Can I find a good spot that I think rolls right down the path I want? Get a good starting point. Perhaps finding the right trees in the clearing, and then
Yeah, roll intellect to see how helpful your spot is. Target roll of 6. If you match it, you ease it by 1. If you exceed it, you ease it by 2 steps.
all right, I'll use an edge on that.
Do you have any edge in intellect?
Oh wait, no, I don't. Oh shoot.
Well, you can expend effort on it.
Effort. I'll use effort. That's what I meant.
Frode's got 6 points of intellect pool, I think.
All right. I did not find a good spot.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and just expand the effort, which is free, for my might pool,
Okay.
to make this task easier.
Sure.
Difficulty should be 4 now,
Yeah, it's
right?
4 now.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. All right. Frode is not going to successfully resist the damage, and it's not going to be, or it's still going to be eased by 1 step. So it's a difficulty 5 speed task is the hike for you. So go ahead and roll that. But you're also going to take 5 might points of ambient damage as you bounce and careen around the hill.
I rolled a 10.
You rolled a 10. In addition to that, you run out of steam at the bottom of the climb. You'll need to roll again to go up. So this is just costing you time. As he's doing that, does anyone else want to participate in the scene?
Yes.
How are your other characters approaching this? Who should we check in with next?
Definitely watching that one just go down the hill for a brief minute or two.
Armis just standing there at the top as Frode rolls very confidently down the hill, just careening off of stuff.
Just look at Jasper. We're doing really well.
Yes, Armis, if that's what you want to tell yourself, that's fine by me.
It's let me show you a thing or two, all right? I think I'm gonna if I still have my coat on, I'm gonna shed it and have all my little arms out and get on all 8 of my wonderful little arm legs and start skittering around.
Okay.
So can you describe the layout? Is it like a straight line between 2 peaks?
It's essentially
or is it
a straight line between 2 peaks that curves down a little bit. So it's like a very, very elongated half pipe. But the terrain is varied. So some of it is bouldery and gravel. Some of it is like tree canopy and like sporadic brush. And then some of it is like loose stones that you might have to climb or scrabble over. So it's just, that's what makes it difficult. It's just the different amounts of terrain in the way.
Yeah. Being a spider person, would it be arguably easier if I went on like the side of the little valley that we're going through and like kind of going on the wall,
trying to like climb
of
almost?
the mountain? Yeah, and just kind of just skitter my way like a creepy little spider guy. If that eases it at all, I am trained in climbing.
Yeah, then that would ease it.
All right.
That's what training and climbing is for.
Fantastic. And then I really want to impress Jasper, so I think I will expend a level of effort on this. So is that, what difficulty are we at now? Is that 4?
Yeah, that brings you down to 4. Target roll of 12.
Okay, beautiful. Please, come on. 16, baby!
16, easy peasy. As Frode kind of bounces off of something kind of at the bottom of this half pipe, Frode, you open your eyes and look up and you see Armis like skittering over you, kind of climbing on the side of the wall with all his arms. He seems like he's doing pretty well.
You're doing great, Frode!
What about Davroid? How's Davroid or
So
the other one?
Davroid would have like he heard the gun go off, and he, like even before like when he said it was a running challenge, Davroid like took off his hat, took off his coat, like undid all of his equipment so he would be lighter. Would his training in the academy have prepared him more physically for something like this?
I'll take it. Yeah, he had to pass like a general fitness test just to get into, you know, the night watch or whatever. So
at least 5 push-ups.
Yeah, at least 5 push-ups. and one chin up, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd like to use that.
Yep.
I'm also trained in noticing details, so I figured I could use that to help him like navigate for like the most efficient path that doesn't have like all the dips and bumps and things that could trip people up.
I'll let you roll an intellect task difficulty 5 because you're easing it by 1 to identify a faster path, and then that will slide your difficulty down.
I will do that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 10 on the die.
Okay, so you don't. It's not that you're bad at the skill. It's just that maybe this path there isn't anything to identify. You know, the terrain is so varied that there's not really any better way. You just gotta tough it out.
Yep. And then I would like to spend a level of effort.
All right. Bringing it down to a difficulty 4 and a target roll of 12. Davroid Gravelheart gets ready to navigate the mountain pass.
That's a 7.
That's a 7. No. As Armis skitters overhead, Frode, you turn back looking behind you just in time to see Davroid kind of trip and like scrabble and catch himself on maybe some loose brush that's kind of hanging over the side of the edge. He pulls himself back up to his feet. Davroid, you're down there at the center with Frode.
Hello.
And that brings us to Willard Taffy. What's Willard's approach going to be here?
Willard, as I mentioned before, is going to start burrowing. He's not trying to make this a walk or a run. He's going to tunnel. And his focus here is on swiftness, you know.
Okay.
Like all dirt, he, you know, has been tunneling from a young age. He knows how to do this very well. And he's, like I said, he's focusing on keeping himself skinny, getting through, finding the fastest way through, avoiding the rocks and things. So he would, if he can, he would like to use some effort from his speed pool to ease this task.
Yep. And I would say that because he's avoiding like the difficult terrain overhead, that probably eases his task by 1 as well. So we were difficulty 6, ease down to a 5 because he chose to burrow, ease down to a 4 because he used a level of effort.
Let's
Target
go.
roll of 12.
Let's do it. I got exactly a 12.
Exactly
Let's
a 12.
go.
Let's go.
Whoa.
As the two of you, Frode and Davroid, kind of looking at each other, noticing that like, oh no, we're both here at the same spot. You just hear kind of a soft little rumble underneath of you, and you feel maybe the tiniest shift, a couple loose stones, you know, kind of fall
And you
down the side
swear
of the
you
cliff.
could also hear him grumbling something about,
I just can't believe I have to go in that freaking magic thingy again.
and he keeps going.
At the other end, Armis, just as you make it to kind of the next peak of the mountain, Willard Taffy, just describe your entrance for me. How does he reappear in the world?
He pops out, but the first thing that pops out from underground is the hat. Like it just like kind of sits
Okay.
up, and then kind of his body climbs out after that.
Frode and Davroid, you need to
Yes.
make another another speed task to get up the other half of the mountain range here. Frode, I am fairly confident that if you looked, you would be able to see Willard and his hat.
That's.
For you
I
to
was
take
about
in
to
there.
ask if he's within sight.
Yep, I'm pretty confident that once he
outside.
emerges.
Oh no.
It's a rogue hat in a valley. You thought you were safe.
Well. He's just gonna freak out, and he's just gonna beeline right up that hill. Any exhaustion he had is gone from his mind. He's just gonna beeline it up there.
Chase the hat, going like Bugs Bunnying its way up the hill.
He is pulling himself up by the tree trunks,
Okay,
propelling himself forward.
sure.
Can I get an easement on that due to the fact I am raging?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll let you use might instead of speed for the roll. So it's a difficulty 6, but it's a might task now, not a speed task. So you
All
get that
right.
free level of effort if you want it.
Plus muscles of iron.
Okay. Yep, that'll ease it another
So-
step. You're right. So now we're down to a difficulty 4, target 12.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Can I say just the adrenaline?
No.
Okay.
I
I got 13.
13 on a target roll of 12. You make it to the top, just sheer rage and focus, dragging your way up there. We'll come back to this moment, but first, Davroid, how are you going to get yourself out of this little kind of mini valley?
I'm going to spend another level of effort.
Okay.
I mean, there's not much more ability.
You don't have any ciphers or other assets you could come up with for yourself or anything
Not
like
that
that?
would help.
Okay.
I have a cipher of invisibility,
Yep, that probably wouldn't help in this.
and my
circumstance.
abilities are all centered around investigating and recon.
Right. Okay. So you've got a target roll of 15 then, because it's a difficulty 5 task for you.
Yep. I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. Davroid is just really struggling with this
It's
mountain
been a while
pass.
since I've been in the
It's been a while.
academy.
Rather than making you continue rolling, we're just going to say it takes a while because you're not under a ton
Yeah.
of pressure. So we'll come back
Yeah.
to you. We'll basically say that you wind up kind of coming last in this little PT
Yeah.
exercise. Let's jump back up to the top of the hill where Armis, Thrupp, and Willard Taffy are joined by a furious Frode the Forsaken.
Frode, you made it, my buddy!
Must destroy.
It's outside. I am outside. There is no other covering. There is no other covering above me.
His little mole arms are like trying to gesture.
I go for a swing attack specifically aimed at the hat.
Willard is just gonna like duck down, but like with both hands on the sides of his hat to like have the hat duck with him.
Sure.
Can I try and make sure that Frode doesn't accidentally hit our little mole friend by trying to restrain them with all my arms?
You certainly
As
can
best
try
as I
to restrain
can.
Frode. So what that's going to do is you are going to hinder Frode's attack roll by 1. So Willard's going to roll a defense roll, and Frode's going to roll an attack roll. And then we're going to subtract 3 from the attack roll because it's been hindered by 1 step with Armis jumping in there to attack him. And we're going to add 3 to Willard's roll because the size differential would give him an advantage on attacks from a creature 2 size categories larger than him. So that would be a +3 for you because that's an easing of your task. So essentially you rolled higher. So go ahead and roll those 2 d20s. And let's
All right.
see how we do.
Willard got a
PvP
7
action.
total.
A 7 total.
Yeah, but I rolled a 4 on the die.
Oh no.
Golly. Easy, Frode. Come on, we didn't know the rules. You have to give us a little bit of easement sometime.
I rolled a 19.
Frode successfully just wails on him. Frode, how much damage does that deal?
It's a heavy weapon.
So that's
Your
6 points
hands
of
are a heavy
damage.
weapon.
6 points of
My
might damage.
hands are a heavy weapon, yeah.
So it hits me, not just the hat.
I guess you're right. He's attacking the hat. Your hat's big enough that it kind of like sticks off your head.
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean,
that's
well,
up to-
it's wide brimmed. It's like it's a black cowboy hat. It's
Okay.
wide brimmed. It's not so tall like Jeb's wizard style hat. You know what I mean? So it sticks up about as much as your standard cowboy hat does. So in that case, it probably would do some damage to him as well.
I'm gonna leave this up to Cleo because I would normally say the attacking player can specify whether you're attacking the hat or the creature itself.
I mean, I'm raging, so I'm gonna roll a die, odds or evens.
Okay. Which one's which?
Odds, it doesn't hit you. Evens, it does.
Okay.
I'm rolling a d4. I rolled an odd. I already forget.
Odds
That
it doesn't
doesn't
hit,
hit
ya.
me.
So you just hit the hat, in which case 6 points of damage is going to easily be enough to knock your hat one step down the object damage track. There's
Okay.
no way that your hat is a level 6 object. So so your hat has been like severely dented and kind of pushed in, and also because you grabbed it with both hands, not knocked off your, like not gone, but probably
Okay.
off your head, and you have to like pull it back up and onto your head as the moment continues here.
I don't understand what you want.
And Willard is going to take the hat, kind of clutch it against his chest, and start rolling, doing his. So he's gonna clutch it against his chest. He's gonna like look at
Frode.
Frode and say something.
I can't believe you made me do this.
And then he looks at his little molefolk arm, and it looks like activates a cipher of invincibility, which it's a level 3 cipher of invincibility, which allows him to take no damage for 3 rounds of combat. And he's going to do his best Frode impression in the fact that he's just going to tuck into a ball and roll back down the hill.
Oh my god!
Okay. Let's make that a speed task of difficulty 6.
So the invincibility is to make sure that he doesn't take any damage from his
Right.
just tumbling down.
Yes.
Does the tumbling not ease it?
If he... Oh, yeah, because he's invincible, so there's no ambient damage. Sure. Yeah, so that'll ease it to a difficulty 5.
Okay. Oh, bad roll. That's a 2.
Okay. He does begin tumbling. He just doesn't have a lot of momentum or whatever, so
He's very small.
it'll take him a while. So he tumbles and scrabbles and scrambles and whatnot, and essentially just starts trying to leave. Frode, if you're trying to pursue him, unfortunately for Willard, the difficulty to beat is a level 1 because you rolled a
However,
2.
he can't take any damage.
He can't take any damage.
No
but
matter
you
how
can
slow
catch
he's
up.
going.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna immediately jump right on top of that hat.
It's clutched. He's clutching it like at his chest while he's rolled into a ball. So he's intentionally making it hard for you to get to.
Oh, well, all right. If you're clutching a ball and it's semi out of sight, I'm gonna go ahead and roll my intellect roll to resist.
Okay.
To resist your rage against
wait.
hats.
If
Okay.
you roll high, does it mean you resist, or is rolling low?
He needs to
you
roll
resist?
high enough to resist.
Okay.
I forget what difficulty we made this.
We're gonna go with a difficulty 5 for right now
All right.
because I don't remember either, and it should have been written on your.
I know
character
it's
sheet.
supposed to be hard.
Target roll of 15.
I rolled a 12.
You are not able
my
to resist.
God. For the love of God, Willard, dig into the ground. We know you can do it.
You can't really tell what he's saying because he's bouncing around while he's rolling.
I guess I'll make the jump. I rolled a 10 to jump.
Roll a might defense roll.
Oh no.
It's eased by 1 because it's not an attack. And I still have muscles of iron. But I rolled a 5.
Okay, you leap into the air, going for what I can only assume is like a flying elbow kind of maneuver onto this, onto Willard in the hat, and in midair, from like off to the side somewhere. It's not Chasm Jasper, but from off to the side somewhere, a blunted spear slams into your chest and throws you off balance. You go flying over the side of the mountain range, and then on your way down, you feel just this weird kind of like floating sensation, and you are suspended in midair as 2 gold wardens from the Guardians emerge from the trees where they had been hidden below the peak, and one of them is holding in his hand kind of like a glowing obelisk type thing that seems to be suspending you in the air. The other one goes, chasing after his spear, and you just look up to the top of the hill back at the house where Jasper is just shaking his head.
Can I still see the hat?
Yeah, you can still see the hat. You just have no. This is like the levitate spell in D&D, where it's like you can try and move all you want, but there's nothing to push off of.
The eyes have rolled back into the back of my head. I'm just flailing.
Yeah. Jasper just looks down at the ward and goes, "Hold him there for a while. He'll fall asleep eventually, probably." Jasper looks up and across the hilltop at Armis, who is the only one who hasn't, really left his position up there at the peak. He looks over and he just goes, "Some diplomat." And he turns and walks back into the cabin.
What?
And you know what that means?
Just give a big thumbs up.
Hell is this?
The world of Urada has regressed, Jasper. Whatever else happened 100 years ago, magic is wild now, and that's dangerous for everyone. If I send soldiers or even the Guardians, the world of Urada will see a conquest no matter what I say. But we can't control a mercenary company.
Okay, what are you proposing?
Am I supposed to look at the camera, look away? I don't understand these things.
If you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna find you.
And then he just pretends to fall over and goes, "Ow, I have been injured."
You hear him say "king me" as he throws down a full house on the tape. He looks pretty feeble, but one time someone saw a kid try and mess with him and he slapped him really hard with the cane.
So there's supposed to be what? Some kind of arcane janitorial squad? Who's gonna lead a team like this? No, don't look at me!
Welcome back to the Wing Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master. I'm joined by some of my friends. Let's introduce yourselves from top to bottom.
I'm on the top. Whoa. It's me. I'm Jake, and I play Willard Taffy, I have like a whole sentence I should read. He's an exiled dirt speaker who throws with deadly accuracy. That's what he is.
Hello, I'm Michael, and I am playing Armis Thrupp, a Tier 1 sharp-eyed spider speaker who works in the back alleys.
Hello, I am Trevor. I am playing Davroid Gravelheart, the Tier 1 dwarf speaker who separates mind from body.
And hello, I'm Cleo. Frode the Forsaken is my character, a tongue-tied Hibititian warrior who fucked around and found out with the Fae.
And I'm Josh, the Wing Badger Game Master. I play everybody else. Without further ado, let's jump back into tonight's adventure, which finds us in the evening, the sun having just gone down over the other edge of the mountains as the 4 of you stump back up towards the cabin. How was that managed in a way where the hat was brought out of sight, or did Willard just walk in first, or how did we resolve that moment?
Willard just is holding the hat tightly to him, kind of to his front, but consistently facing away from
yeah, Frode's just
from
facing
Frode.
the other way.
I don't understand. There's no logic to this. It doesn't make any sense. Why can't you see it?
I just can't. I'm sorry.
Can I try and like scoop up Willard in like my coat and just kind of have him tucked in there like a little cat you carry in a bag?
Sure. If Willard's gonna
Willard, if you don't mind, just for the walk back, it might make it a little easier on you.
I can walk myself, thank you.
Can I can at least cover the hat for you. I'll hold the hat.
I will hold my hat. I'd like it to be close to me.
All right.
Armis, it's okay if you lead me. I'll just. This is fine.
Okay. Yeah. You just cover your eyes. Just hold on to me. I'll take.
Okay.
Actually, I'll just hold him by the hand with one of my arms.
Oh, you didn't tell me about that step. You gotta warn me about the rocks.
Just hold on. Okay. All right.
Oh, that really hurt.
You're doing great.
Guess who's not getting peach tea after this?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
I think you did.
You okay over there, Davroid?
No. I feel like I'm back in the academy.
Oh,
And I
those
hated the
days.
academy.
Was your academy
days.
outside on the mountains?
No. Well, it was outside of... Guy.
It was outside of a mountain.
Yes, not this mountain.
I mean, yeah, Willard kind of looks around. We're outside of Gaim right
You're
now.
right. I should have been more specific. It wasn't this specific area, but it was outside of Guy.
Back in my day, my
What's important is we
academy was
all had good
underground.
hustle.
You know, back in my day, Guy was bustling and we didn't have any of this craziness and yes, it was good days then.
So
Let's get
Frode, is this just this going to happen every time you see a hat?
I would advise that a hat never enter my vision unless you intend for me to lose my own faculties.
Can we get any explanation off of it, Frode? I mean, just at least.
Is that not an explanation? I used words to explain.
As to why, Frode?
As you push in through the door of the cabin, it actually falls off and just like kind of splinters onto the ground. The interior of the cabin, as we've said before, there are no like floors or anything like that. It's just kind of a shell of a building. There are a bunch of holes and kind of crumbly patchwork in the cobblestone walls, so little moonlight shafts kind of peek in. Dust swirls everywhere. In one corner of the room, you can see that Jasper has kind of swept the bulk of the debris, just kind of crammed it into a corner a little bit, and he's now kind of leaning against the wall, looking through some papers and looking a little stressed, but not really acknowledging you. And you can continue your conversation. I was just shifting the tone a little bit.
Ooh, are we inside now?
We are inside. Can we put you down to bed or something? Or Mr. Willard, can you put your hat somewhere hung up where we don't have to worry about this?
I suppose. And
Oh,
Willard
no, wait. He loves that hat, and I wouldn't want him to. Here, and then Frode just rips off a piece of his own shirt. Which way are you, Willard? I gotta take my hand off my eyes for a brief second.
You hear my voice? I'm over here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it does make sense you would be where your voice is. I guess that makes sense. All right. I don't have a way as a prop on my person to represent it. Oh, yes, I do.
God.
Don't worry. This is for the bit.
This is a good audio bit.
Good
This
audio
will play
bit.
great on Spotify,
This is really good.
Pocket
That's
Casts,
cute.
and all the other places.
We are placing a physical garment over top of. Oh boy, it's a real struggle to get this bandage over top of their eyes. They're trying to
I'm
go over top
struggling.
of their headphones, which is proving to be
We've
the most
managed to
difficult
go
point.
over top of one ear and under the other ear, so it's really
Is it-
creating some challenges.
Okay. They have
You know,
created
your headphones would actually help keep it on.
they've created the tension in the back. This is interesting.
Now
So
it's a matter
it
of
is
tying the
working.
knot.
It is. They are having to.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've got for
There it
you audio
is.
listeners, we've created sort of a Naruto-esque headband, except instead of being on the forehead, it's over the eyes.
You can call it a blindfold. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
People
but
know what
it's I meant
Exactly.
because of the part hanging down. Blindfolds don't
Okay.
usually have
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
big
okay.
hanging part. I was
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to help
yeah,
them
yeah.
picture the full scene. There are many
This
blindfolds.
This is a cloth belt held by friction.
That's very good. The time is 8:46. We will keep that in mind when we see when it falls off.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Listeners,
there.
if
now,
that did not take an agonizingly long time, it's because Jake or I went in and cut that silence, and you're
That's
welcome.
true.
Okay,
Yep.
moving on.
now,
But-
now you don't have to escort me anymore, and I can hear perfectly fine. Are we sharing this abode?
How is
Yes.
this? Wait, I must pause. How is this better?
We simply
What?
must move on, Willard. I don't know if it's going to get any better for Frode.
This could be a problem because whatever we may face, there's a chance that they're wearing a hat, and we can't rely on the fact that we'll need to murder them every time.
This is
What?
true.
Just
I
gouge
will
their
not be
eyes
the-
out there.
Well, I won't be the only hat that is encountered while we're on these missions. or
Clearly,
whatever.
just send me in front when something happens, or perhaps just anything. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Nobody answered my question. Are we sharing this abode?
Yes, we are.
It's like while we're still having this conversation, I'm gonna go over to Jasper and be like, "Pretty good, huh?"
Jasper just gives you a flat stare.
Right, brother. I mean, it wasn't the best, but I think we learned a lot, and I think there's something to be said for that.
So we splitting this 4 ways or 5 ways?
Do you mean this one room, or I mean?
Armis, do you realize that while we're up here dicking around with training exercises, people are dying in the world? I know as a diplomat you didn't have much concern for people dying, but
There's no need
it
to be
turns out
nasty.
that here in the real world, like, there are incidences that people are unprepared for and unprotected from, and we have been given a responsibility to offer those people a little bit of safety, and instead we're up here fighting about Willard's freaking hat, and he like slams the papers on the ground and storms out of the room.
I think I see what summoned the little rain cloud we saw earlier.
I don't think he possesses that power.
He doesn't? I thought for sure that was it.
Are you sure we can't give Frode some tea and put them to bed? I think they deserve a real big nap, Willard. I think
All
we
right.
all deserve a nice little relaxation, and maybe
Well, I see where this is going. I will do my meditations and I'll get out of your hair.
Can
Can
you do your meditations when you see a hat to not attack it?
I do it with my eyes closed. Do you meditate with your eyes open?
Some people do. I don't meditate.
That's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna meditate. I'll be out of your hair, fur, skin, whatever you got. And all I ask is that tomorrow morning we sort out how we're gonna divvy up this abode. But for now, I'll take that corner.
can we roll to see if they just walk through a wall?
Yeah. Armis, roll a d4, and Jake, Willard, roll a d4. If the numbers are the same, then Frode successfully navigates to any corner. If the numbers are different, Frode is going to walk into
Are
something.
there any rooms in this place, or is it one big
It is
space?
one big space, although
Okay.
it seems like it's the size of a building that probably had 2 stories and, maybe 4 or 5 rooms on each floor. Like, it's a
Gotcha.
pretty big, because it was a keep. at one point. So there was a small squadron of knights.
So
that
there's like
stayed
a
here.
semblance of walls that used to be.
Not anymore, but yes, there would have been. It's now just a shell. So it's like the outer walls of cobblestone are all that is still standing. All the wood stuff has kind of decayed or been knocked over or rotted or whatever.
Gotcha.
And so all the wood debris has been swept into a corner by Chasm Jasper. So it's just out of the way.
Gotcha. I got a 1 on the D4.
I got it too.
All right, Frode, you walk into something, but then you find your way into a corner.
Well, I was just gonna say I hit it, and then I fall over, and I am immediately sound asleep.
Great.
See, he did not need the tea after all.
And Willard will navigate to the opposite corner from Frode and get Willard has a leather backpack that he'll take off, and he'll take out actually what looks like a kettle and a little kit to start a fire, and he is gonna start brewing some tea.
Can I go out the door to see if Jasper's like just hanging about, or did he like leave?
Sure. You go outside and you find Jasper just sitting on kind of like a little flagstone from the path. You know, he's just kind of sitting there with his feet kind of over the edge of the path so that he's kind of looking out over the mountains.
I'll go sit next to him. This is some group, Jasper.
Yeah, I know.
There wasn't anyone else.
You were all chosen because, frankly, you're a little disposable. It wasn't my choice. I was just handed your dossiers and told to go recruit. Some analyst somewhere probably figured it out. I heard that they contracted in some, adventurers guild or whatever to kind of look for, unstable or not super tied in people, especially people that they could get leverage over, in the city. I mean, look at you, you and Nappert and everything.
Yeah, I don't like talking about it.
I'm sure you don't.
I just know I have my reasons, and it wasn't what most people think. I don't know how much you know, but
I probably know all of it. We were pretty thorough.
fair.
I don't mean to insult your discretion, but
No.
when Salen wants to know stuff, she finds out.
Yep. Well, hey,
What do you think? You think this is a chance for a fresh start?
I'm hopeful. I mean, it's certainly a wild bunch. I think, Frode's good muscle, but just so strange.
It's also pretty unfortunate because none of you in particular seem to have any inclination towards doing the right thing. Except maybe Willard, but even he has a really skewed idea of what the right thing is.
I mean, I would like to think that I generally like to do the right thing. It's just...
Look at your complicity, man.
Well, it feels so morally gray to me. I did what was right for those close to me.
Was it doing what was right for those closest to you when you took a bribe to walk away from that warehouse yesterday?
Yes, because then Napport gets on me and I lose my job and everything falls apart.
What's everything?
My life. What is left of it.
Is Napper really that big of a bad?
I think he is.
I don't know. Couldn't you put him away?
No. He has too many people on his side or doing the same thing as him.
Or you just haven't pulled on the right thread?
Maybe I just haven't met the right people.
Well, they're probably not it. He looks back towards the cabin, but who knows? Maybe you'll all surprise us. It'd be nice to get a pretty good win streak going and take that back to Earl Coalfoot.
I do want you to know that I have full intentions of doing this task to the best of my abilities and attempting to work with everyone and getting them on the same page. Because I do want that fresh start.
And I want to give it to you, honestly. But mostly, I want to do the task that was assigned to me. Look at these. And he shares with you kind of just a stack of papers that he's been going through. These are all reports of different disasters throughout the world that, Saylan's intelligence network is broad enough that she's getting news of them, but they are outside of the borders of Gaim, so it's not like she can do anything about it. It's like, look, we got a forest that came alive over that way to the west. It's eating people, literally. Over here, we've got a fault line that keeps opening and closing again, swallowing people up. Down that way, we've got a flock of bunnies that seems to have eaten something arcane, and now they've all grown massive fangs, and they're kind of assassinating members of the town nearby. All this stuff, wild stuff that, like, people don't train for that. Even in, like, the arcane schools and stuff. Like, you've got the Eos Lore Foundation's back up. They've got the whole scholastic thing that Alan Woodrear's been leading them in way out there, at the Frozen Fang. But it's not like they're out there preparing for unstable, volatile magic. They're all bookworms, Alan's a dude who likes to see how things work, and then he hopes they all work the same way every time. There's no one out there who's dealing with this.
No one? What about all the adventuring guilds, like Four Guys or whatever they're called?
Well, I mean, they'll do it for a profit, the same way they've always done stuff for a profit, but they won't do it to take care of people, and they won't care about the collateral damage. And you can't see any kind of national body doing it, because if we go out there, the Ruby Wardens are doing a great job in the city-state, but if they go out there and start doing it, people are going to see a conquest. They're going to see, Gaim's expanding their territory. Oh, now we're under the protection of the Guardians. It's going to look like, we're making a big military move. And it's only been 90 years since the last military move, and look how that turned out for Hishala and the Tieflings up there, So nobody wants to look that way.
Wouldn't sending us, though, give the same thing, or are we operating under the assumption that people don't know where we came from?
You're not going to have anything identifying on you. There's not going to be anything.
Okay.
You're at best, you're a cleanup crew. You're going to show up when the crisis is so bad that people will accept any help, and you're going to show up without any backup or assistance. You'll have supervision, probably, if I can get into a useful position, but there won't be any resources from the city. Nothing will get traced back to Saylan. Anything that you do, it's going to be completely contained in this unit, which is why it's so important for you all to work as a team. And
I understand.
It's so important to Saylan that we do the right thing as far as protecting the civilians and avoiding casualties, but none of you really has a history of avoiding civilian casualties. Frode basically is a walking civilian casualty. So it's not like we can just ask the entire populace of the world to remove their hats when he walks by. So, I don't know.
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, nobody really understands it very much. You'll have to talk to him about it. We've got a guess at where it comes from, but it's not like he told us. We just found somebody who he talks to, and we got kind of a limited understanding of the story from them.
All I've been able to deduce so far is it's related to the Fae, but based on things he's said and mentioned and how he's been operating. But
yeah, we had kind of a similar indication. Something to do with the Feywild. We think maybe he went there and had some kind of experience that, twisted him a little bit.
The name thing is usually a pretty good giveaway.
Yeah, that's like one of the most common Fey symptoms. Pretty much everybody knows about how name stuff happens in the Fey. You're right. That's a great point.
All right. Well, I'll get back and try and bond with them over some tea.
Good luck with the icebreaker questions. I'm going to head back into the city and see if I can't get a little bit more information. I'll be back in the morning. If you guys want to start just kind of arranging whatever tonight, I'll come back with some budget for you tomorrow.
Okay. Where do we stand on that? I know the physical test did not go very well.
Yeah, it wasn't terrific, but, we'll keep training. That's the point of training. You get better at it. I'll run you through the drills until you're reliable, that's for sure. And we'll have to get another simulatrix. The old one burned out after the last experience, but we'll get another one up here and we'll run you through some more simulated scenarios to give you a chance to try and solve some of those problems.
All right, Jasper, thanks. And Davroid holds out a hand.
Grabbleheart, he shakes your hand, and then he walks away down the path towards the city-state of Gaim. inside the cabin. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I have a snuck out during that and tried to hear as much as possible? And while he's going away, I'm just behind him and I say boo.
You can roll a speed task with a difficulty of 8.
8, but
yeah.
I'm a sneaky guy.
Yeah, so you can ease it with some stuff, but the difficulty is 8 to sneak up on Chasm Jasper.
Okay. Well, I work in the back alleys.
I feel like Davroid is also he's trained in is he trained in perception? Yeah, he's trained in noticing details.
Yeah.
All right.
So between the two of them, we're going to call that difficulty 8.
All right. That's you can't be a 7 though.
Well, you can ease it to a 7 with something.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, I just being with my background, being a stealthy son of a gun, I feel like I'm pretty good at sneaking. I get down on all fours and I crawl up really nice.
Don't you mean all 8?
So that would ease it to so that would ease it to a 7 with a target roll of 21 on your d20.
Yeah, that's about all we.
You can apply some effort.
Oh shoot!
You could
That's
spend an XP to try and gain some kind of short-term
I'll
advantage.
do a little bit of effort. I really want to scare him
Okay.
because he's giving me flack.
So you spend a level of effort. That brings it down to a difficulty 6 with a target roll of 18.
Easy. Oh no, that's a 6.
It's a 6. You are not sneaky. Even as you are kind of poking your head out the doorway, both of them notice you but just don't acknowledge you. And then as Chasm stands up to leave, he says, Gravelheart, shakes his hand, looks right at you, does not say anything, and then turns and walks away.
Boo.
He just continues walking.
Alrighty.
Davroid, you're also aware of him.
Yeah.
Just try to add a little levity to the evening.
Well, Armis, what do you think?
About us?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all pretty awful. I would say. I think it's pretty easy to see that we're a bit of a broken bunch. I just pull out a little flask and take a nice long swig.
Davroid also pulls out of his own flask.
It's slightly larger.
On the side facing him are his initials, and then on the other side are initials that are scratched out.
Ooh.
And he just takes a swig from it.
Trevor, take 2 XP. One for the last scene that you just roleplayed, and one for the incredible backstory element you just worked into a non-vocal line. That's really good roleplay.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree we're not the best bunch. But I meant, can we get there? I think we can.
Oh, we can do whatever the flip we want, my man. Let me tell you, if I know anything, you try hard enough, it's gonna go great.
I want that fresh start more than anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try and slip some of this here booze into the peach tea to chill out that gosh dang rodent for just a little bit.
What's in your flask, if you don't mind me asking?
What's one of the most harsh alcohols this world has to
Unholy
offer?
Volcano.
Just a little bit of Unholy Volcano, baby.
Adventure, yeah. Finchtail Ale Company's finest.
Yeah, I got the good stuff.
Nice.
We're gonna get it tomorrow. It's gonna be great.
Willard, is the tea ready?
I can't. It's one of the worst. Yes, it is about done. And Willard will pour the tea from the kettle into his tea set as he showed the party last time. He brought it with him from Grubbub's Clubs and Mugs. And he kind of sets them in a semicircle around, sets the tea cups in a semicircle around his little setup he's got going.
Willard. Well, in spirit of collaboration and communication, and something to start us off that's a little simpler, how do you guys want this place to look? Or, like, how do we want to exist together in this space?
Is the floor stone or dirt, Josh?
It's compacted dirt.
Well, and Willard will kind of pat the floor. I'm
really not too partial to whatever you want to do with this space. Willard will kind of like gesture to the overall space. As long as I can kind of make a space in the basement, shall we say.
Davroid just looks down. All yours, buddy.
I'll make the basement, don't worry.
Well, it could use curtains, I suppose. Something nice. Jazz it up. Be good. A bed sounds good. It's, maybe we just have a little closet for Frode to hang out in.
I mean, I don't know if we'll get curtains, but we could definitely use like the tree branches and pine needles to make beds and stuff.
We could. You know what? When we start doing really good, I bet you Jasper will hook us up with the nicest curtains he can find.
I think he'll hook us up with the cheapest curtains.
He's a good man, that Jasper. I don't know if he told you, but he's pretty fond of me.
He did not tell me that.
We go a long way back. He doesn't like to talk about it, but he knows it.
When did you first encounter him?
Some years ago in my last career. It was just we brushed elbows a lot. I used to be up in the upper districts doing bigger things.
What
Is that
sort
enough
of things?
Is it? Well, you know, I used to assist. I was a diplomat. I was up there. I would be a bit of a mover and shaker, and I would. How much do we want to know each other right now? Is it? Do we want to all? Well, let's go out in a circle. If I share one really personal thing about myself, do I get one thing from each of you? Can we tell that?
That's fair.
Okay. I'll start. I lied and cheated and exploited the system to my benefit.
I'm so surprised.
I'm a swell guy. I hide it well, but I used to be a bit of a scoundrel.
Used to. Interesting.
How about you, old timer? You give me a lot of sass. What's your backstory?
I used to, as you said, I used to be the one to put liars and cheaters and backstabbers in prison. Locked your lot up.
Just takes a nice big swig. That's awesome.
But the times they're moving too fast for me. And I wasn't the right mole for the job anymore, I guess.
That's harsh.
Tough.
It's complicated.
Yeah. Aren't we all, brother?
The world of the police is no easy feat or task.
No, it is not.
I guess I'll say, for me personally, I used to have a much happier demeanor, I guess. And I also had to lie about something very important, and I lost that life.
Well, it seems to me we all have at least one thing in common. We don't really like the lives we have now.
Is it?
Are we sharing our tragic backstories?
Oh no!
Laying on the ground near you with his blindfold on.
We're
working on it.
Sorry, I felt a stir in my meditations.
Frode, can I hit you with a
meditation.
GM intrusion, Frode?
Sure.
You can refuse it with an XP, obviously, if you've got one to use. Frode's sleep was disturbed by a nightmare filled with shattering porcelain and a vortex he couldn't get himself out of, and high-pitched cackles and screams where he just was falling and spinning and completely unaware until it became like so blinding that there was nothing to see, and then he opened his eyes and it was the blindfold. And he was, surrounded by nothing but the sound of the fire crackling.
Sorry, had to take a breath.
And don't forget to assign 1 XP to another player. You get 1 and then another player gets 1.
I'll give 1 to the T-Man here, dropping some
By
tea
way of
upon us.
apology.
Frode, you could take the blindfold off. There are no visible head-wearing apparatuses.
I'm sitting on my severely wrinkled hat at the moment.
I buried mine.
Are you sure? I don't want to. And he kind of sits up and scooches over to the little tea set area, and I don't want to cause bother, as I am known to do around hats.
Although I am often angry in the moment, I don't believe you are truly a bother.
And Willard will scoot a teacup towards Frode.
Oh, well, in that case.
Aw. Willard, have an XP. That was a sweet moment.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this campfire is blinding. Oh.
You're telling me I'm the one who made it.
And Willard kind of is like shielding his eyes from the fire as he like kind of leans over to push the teacup.
This is fortunate. Do you not know what you've done?
No.
This is a ceremony. Oh, this is a ceremony. Oh, this is very good. This is
just my nightly routine.
No, but there are 4 of us, and we're sitting in a semicircle with teacups aligned. Don't you see? This is classic. Oh, sorry.
Frode, did you hear what we all said, or are we going around again?
I may have heard. I just didn't want to interrupt. I guess that means I owe you all each something. Well, if we're all talking about our past lives, believe it or not, I'm up there in a couple of years. But I used to be young and strong and wise and witful. I'm still 3 of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also arrogant and a fool. And now I don't even know what I have done to cause such a blight upon my life. That's the whole hat shtick.
Well,
Do you want some alcohol?
yeah, you want some booze? We could share a drink of
Ooh.
4 very vague bastards just sitting around a fire drinking whatever we're drinking.
Well, this should just be like back at the pub. Not
What
the pub.
pub?
That's a different place.
Grubbubs, Bubs, and Gubs. I'm already a few deep.
I'll try to pour me a little bit of that. That's
Oh yeah. Here you
Oh,
go.
it smells
Here
a
you
bit
go,
of
Willard.
spice.
Oh yeah, mix them up.
It's okay. I prefer just the tea as it is, but I will drink the alcohol separately.
That's fine.
Now,
Well, here, just take a swig of mine then.
Thank you.
now that we have all shared the drink, we have completed the ceremony. And now I must explain this. We are tied together with invisible strings from this moment forward. We must watch each other and protect each other. We do not want the teacups to break.
Don't want the teacups to break.
It's very, very bad luck.
Very bad.
Well, it's not luck. It's just... I happen to know of a person who would be really mad if you
We
broke
got
a
you.
teacup.
We got
And-
you.
It's me. I would be very mad if you broke my teacups.
Oh,
All right.
speaking of which, yes. So, now that we've completed the ceremony, let's divvy up the abode. We're splitting it 4 ways, yes?
There's it. Yep.
I guess we each get a corner.
Perfect. I'll draw the lines.
Well, we already. Perfect. Thank you so much, Frode.
Frode gets up and grabs a piece of debris and starts drawing lines in the...
Just lean into Willard. You can still have below the house. I don't think
Thank
they're
you.
gonna know.
I'm interested to see when Frode might discover, his reaction might be quite funny. Oh, there's a hole. What does it mean?
It's
That's good.
You're a lot funnier than you seem, Willard.
What are you speaking of over there?
We're excited to see what
nothing.
you do with the place, Frode.
All right.
Those are good
well,
lines.
First things first, we need a broken corner, and he points out a corner and he just punches a hole in it. There we go.
Why did you do that?
Yeah, Kim, what was that about?
Didn't you see the energy being blocked here?
And you
Let
see
it
that
out.
in the space that he has punched, there's like the glow of a little Cypher nestled in amongst the stone there.
What the?
Oh, hello there.
Can you just find those, Frode? Did you plan on that?
I mean, I found one at the club.
I mean, I just do what I must, and I pick it up.
You pick it up. Great. Everybody roll a... Actually, I'm not going to have you all roll the same die. Jake, roll a d10. Mike, roll a d10. Trevor, roll a d8. Cleo, roll a d6. Let's figure out what you found.
I got a 6 on the D10.
Okay.
I got a 6 on the D6.
Okay.
I got a 2 on the D8.
Okay.
8 on D10.
Great. You find a cipher of suspended energy. It is a level 4, and essentially what it does is you can take any energy, so that could be like a burning fire or a bolt of lightning or whatever. You can activate this cipher in order to suspend the energy in a small ball that you can carry with you for up to 4 days. And then you can release the energy by throwing the ball at stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm also, can I use, since I'm close to my limits, just use a cipher immediately?
You would have to drop one
All right.
if you're picking
I will
one up.
drop one.
Okay.
I dropped a level 5 cipher of illusion.
Okay. It's gone.
I will, be like, all right. Well, now that I have this, and I have created the energy siphon, I pick up, I place my hand. Was there a fireplace at some point?
Yeah.
A stone?
At some point there was.
All right, I place my hand and be like, well, this is my gift to you all. Of course, it's in my corner, but I'm willing to share it. And I use my cipher that turns an object into like an exquisite value object. Like exuberant, I believe is the term.
Exorbitant, yeah.
Exorbitant, yes.
What is it?
It's a fireplace, I think.
The fireplace has transformed from this basic stone fireplace to the dust puffs off of it. The bricks meld together into seamless granite. And as gold seems to milk and flow out of it into thin traces of lines, telling stories and patterns, you start seeing images dance upon the surface of the granite before they solidify into a mosaic, and a fire, magical in nature, bursts into being, and a stoker pops out of the granite itself, and lands on the ground with gems lining the edge. The story, if you look deeply, tells a very interesting story, if you're willing to look at it. The story has never storied hard than this story.
Armis is in shock. You could have done that? Was it only? Could you only have done that to the fireplace? We could have had a banging kitchen.
Well, I had to choose something, and
what do we do in summer when it gets hot? We'll never light the fireplace. I guess we could cook with it. I mean, we could sell that. For the love of God, let's pry this whole thing out and sell it and make the house nice.
Well,
this was awesome, Frode.
I wouldn't sell it now. It's a gift.
What? That thing's got jewels in it. I've never seen a poker that's the most menial object, and it's got jewels in it. We can find another poker that's at least gonna make the walls sturdy.
Now, it's all part of the grander picture.
Oh, and Frode, you have to let us use that would be the ultimate gift, is to let us use this insanely expensive poker just to rizz out this house.
Now, watch. And he picks up the poker. This poker is tied to this fireplace.
Oh,
and he pokes the fire, and as he does, the fire dances up and lights up the gold tendrils, and you see people dancing, people singing. The gold moves a little bit, shimmers, and everybody stops singing, stops dancing, and they see a small dot of a being approach upon them. And he has stepped upon something unknowingly. And before you know it, the flames dance higher, and the gold all starts to weave and meld as these giant figures scream and all point down at this small being. And the being is warped, and the gold tarnishes and turns into stone and falls into the fireplace as the fire goes out. Oh, I think I used it up.
What was that? What do you mean? That was so cryptic, Frode. Can it do it again? We gotta at least get people up here to show them the magic fireplace.
Please do not do that again. Please do not. I did not.
You're freaking out, Willard. It's a beautiful gift. I don't want to diminish the gift. I feel like I'm making it seem like this is not something you should have done, but we can really milk this if you just let us. It's a beautiful fireplace. It can be just for us. Everyone say one nice thing you like about the fireplace. I don't mean to.
I like that it's stopped moving.
I like that it's very expensive.
I understand you don't understand the value of this fireplace, but if anybody touches this poker, you don't know what that story was just told.
It's a beautiful fire story.
Frode, take an XP.
Frode,
it was wonderful.
Leaves.
It goes outside?
He just goes outside.
Is he doing anything we should follow for the story, or is he just like cooling off outside?
He's cooling off outside.
Okay.
I may have been a little big there. It was very dazzling, and I didn't know how to respond.
I'm going to sleep in a hole. And Willard is gonna put his tea down and burrow into a little hole in his corner, and kind of stick his nose out for one last little sniff, making sure nothing else is going on. And if nothing else is going on, he's gonna curl up and sleep.
Yeah, I think nothing else is going on.
Armis, I think you took that a little too far.
Yeah, I tend to do that.
You should go talk to him.
Is that... should I just give him some space? Maybe I talk to him in the morning. I don't know.
He seems like...
if you think he's okay to be talked to right now, I'll go talk to him. But it's... maybe I'm losing my touch. I used to be good at talking to people, but I was...
can I use my ability to just read people to see if Frode would be receptive to an apology now based on the limited information I have of him?
Yeah. Roll a... Well, actually, you're pretty good at reading people. Frode,
yeah.
What would he read on you? Like, would Frode be receptive, or is Frode not in a place for follow-up conversation?
Frode would be receptive of the right apology.
Armis, if one, you're sincere and mean the apology, I think he would be receptive of it.
All right, I'll do my best. Take one last swig to steel myself. No more goofs. No more goofs. You can do this. We don't have to be a people pleaser. We just have to be a genuine individual, a genuine creature.
Yes. And remember, it's not all about money.
It'd be nice to have a good house, though. I'll go talk to him.
And then Davroid is also just gonna like hunker down in his little corner.
Sure.
Armis will stroll out. Is Frode very far? Is he off kicking rocks somewhere?
He's kind of clutched his knees to his chest.
Oh.
And he's just kind of rocking a little bit.
Oh my god. Armis is gonna try and gently come up and give him a little tap on the shoulder.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm sorry, Frode. It was very insensitive of me. I got caught up in the nicety of it, and I was, I used to be a big schemer. I was a mover, shaker, kind of. Part of my job was to take advantage of situations, and I see the opportunity that I want to see, and not the gift that you gave to us, and almost certainly the deeper meaning that the beautiful story, the fire story, was trying to tell.
I'll be honest with you. Ciphers sometimes do strange things around me. I was not expecting that.
Oh, it shared even more than you expected.
I don't think I know the true importance. My memory's not all there.
Oh.
But I know it was very important what just happened. And I know you wouldn't understand. From an outside perspective, I'm just a crazy rock man.
No. It's crazy. People throw that word around a little too liberally. What some might see as crazy is someone who's full of life and has a whole experience behind them and reasons for what they do and just behave a little differently.
Isn't that everyone then?
We're all a little crazy, Frode. Come on now. There's that little rocky smile that I love to see.
I'm sorry but I think I might have just learned why I am the way I am a little bit from that fireplace, strange as it may be.
No, that's, I'm sure the more we do this, the more, we're going to be coming in contact with ciphers. It may be a little scary, but maybe it'll help us peel back the harsh exterior of who and what the story of Frode is.
Well, remember what I said? I used to be a fool.
But, yeah.
Well, this fool, I think, pissed off the wrong people.
I
don't know what. The worst part is I don't know what I did. I don't even know who. I don't even know where.
We keep making fancy fireplaces like that. Maybe we'll sort it all out.
Well, hopefully they won't do that, and I can give you the poker, and you can sell it.
That would be good, but only if you want it. We can drink around the fireplace now. We can have a game night or something. It'll be very nice. Maybe the more we look at the fireplace, it'll tell even other stories.
I'm sure there's probably a gemstone or two that could go missing. I don't know. No. I mean, like, if I find a little stone in my coat pocket, I would not be upset, and I would absolutely do it. If you could have one thing in this house, what would be the one thing that you want, Frode, other than the very nice fireplace? Well, we need to make sure energy flows through the house properly, and you would set aside, we need a plant from each region, and we need a rug. It needs to be purple, not lavender.
Of course,
but purple. And
Frode, if you'll allow it, and if I can abscond with one or two little gems, I'm sure I could get a nice interior designer or a feng shui expert that can help get the place with the proper energies to make us all have a lovely little experience with each other. How's that sound?
I mean, no offense, it wouldn't be for you. It'd be for
okay,
my friends.
Okay.
Well, they're not my friends. They're my benefactors. Not my benefactors. They're They're more like the old man down the street that you keep knocking on the door, hoping one day they'll give you their inheritance. Except their inheritance is a door, and you're the old man, and they're an ethereal being.
I hear you, Frode.
With the permission of the players, I'm going to skip to the morning where this conversation is continued, but Jasper is on his way back up the steps. If you two think that would fit with the scene.
Sure.
And so,
yeah,
that's why it needs to be purple. Because if it's not purple, then he's going to be mad.
Where are you two doing up so early? I would have thought for sure you would have slept terrible in this place.
What? No,
I slept great for 10 minutes.
We're doing really good, Jasper. We made a lot of progress last night. It's
progress on. Holy crap! What happened to the fireplace?
It's beautiful, isn't it? Just
it's something.
I touched it.
You touched it?
I
what does
touched
that even mean?
It's not worth it, Jasper. It's a nice
Forget
fireplace. It's the most beautiful fireplace you've ever seen.
Oh, look, let's see if it's recharged. I pick up the poker.
And he steps into the room and he goes, "All right, I've got announcements, news, things. Here's the first thing." And he holds up a little collection of vials, 4 vials, and he says, "Everybody drink up." And he holds out, they're kind of like a greenish liquid with kind of a glowing specks of teal and amber in them. He says, "Everybody drink up."
Oh,
I drink.
Okay.
What are
Do I have to trade something for this?
No. Drink up. It's part of the job.
I'm too tired to disagree.
All right, part of the job.
What are you drugging us with?
It's not drugs exactly. The 3 of you who drank the potion already expand the number of ciphers you can bear by 2.
Ooh.
And he continues.
It's more like it's a little something that the alchemists cooked up for us here. It should expand the number of ciphers that you can carry with you, which we're hoping will help when it comes to taming wild magic. We assume that a lot of these incidences are things where if you could simply claim the cipher, the volatility of the area would just go away. It also gives us the ability to monitor your vital signs so that if you were to find yourself dying, we would be able to send help to go and assist you. So it's things like that have been kind of cooked up by the alchemist whizzes. I don't even understand all of it, but I've got some paperwork here if you want to read it. And it's like all very like high level medical jargon. Like it doesn't really make any sense probably to you without finding an expert to help you decode it.
Willard once again gets very serious looking at Jasper and just, do I need to take this to do this job?
You
Really?
need to take it to leave this building, so you can do the job under supervision without it, and you could stay here for all time without it. But if you drink it so that we're able to monitor your vital signs and make sure that you stay alive and all those sorts of things, then we can let you go back down into Geim when you're not on call, and we can just summon you. Oh, that's one of the other things it does. It lets us summon you so that if we need you or there's an incident and he picks up or holds up a ring on his finger and he spins it to the inside, and the three of you who drank the potion, you feel a very, very subtle vibration in your hands. And it just like it's clear, but it's not like enough to it wouldn't make you drop something you were holding, but it's just like a little, it's like your phone on vibrate, like a little zzz, and then he flips it around again, so that way we can tell you that there's an incident and we need you to get up here pronto. And without that, you'd have to stay up here under metaphorical and physical lock and key, because it wouldn't just be this building. We also have been tasked with defending this building, as you met some of the Gold Wardens yesterday, and they are unfortunately not just here to protect you, they're also here to protect everyone from you. So you could stay under their watchful eyes and not drink this, and also I guess not have as much magical capacity, or you could drink it and I could give you some level of freedom in your life back.
How long does it last?
It's supposed to break down over the course of a year, but they cooked it up for this, so it's not like I can tell you that for sure. I'm not going to lie to you, Willard.
Well, Willard, if you drink it, then you have drunk it.
Willard glares at Frode.
Jasper looks over at Frode and goes, truer words.
So wise, Frode. You're so wise.
Willard just grabs the vial and
Thank you.
takes it like a shot, and then immediately puts his hand back out to give it back to Jasper.
Jasper takes the empty flask or tube or whatever, flips it up in the air, and slots it back into the little carrier. All right, empty beakers right here in the little slots.
Jasper, now that we've all drank it, can I ask, will this make our head explode if we're too bad of people?
Not to my knowledge, but that might be above my pay grade, so I wouldn't rule it out completely.
Yeah.
Willard just whole body shivers.
I didn't want to make you scared, Willard. I didn't want to freak you out, but I just know that they might be covering some bases. So let's just all live every day like it's our last. Am I right?
Covering bases? Do we have more than one base?
Nope, just this base. Speaking of which, that's the next order of business. And Jasper takes out a sack that is disappointingly light and drops it on the floor in front of you. And he goes, I've got a little bit of budget requisition for you to try and turn this into an operational facility. Now, remember, we're going to need to use this place for more than just sleeping. This is where reports are going to come, and you're going to sift through them and decide which incidences you will respond to. Obviously, if there's one of major critical importance, I'll just come get you and send you there. But for the most part, these are things that, they crop up and then they just keep going. So we can kind of approach them in whatever order of operations we need to. It's going to be, unstable and volatile whether we go tomorrow or the day after. And by the time it gets to you, people are already dead. So it's not like we can, prevent any casualties. We just want to prevent you from causing more casualties while you're there. So, with that in mind, and he opens up the bag and kind of demonstrates to you, you've got 8 inexpensive items worth and 1 moderately expensive items worth of money in there. So you can arrange that. And I think what we'll do is at the beginning of the next session, we'll describe what you've all chosen to purchase as a group. So we won't need to make that decision here. That'll give you a couple weeks to think about what you want and maybe talk offline in the Discord about what those pieces will be. But that's the budget that you have available for you to work with. And lastly, and he kind of holds up his hand and sort of waves it in a dramatic gesture, and floating into the building behind him is another Edison issue simulatrix.
He says, we got another
boy.
training exercise for you today.
I thought the other one broke.
It did. That's why I replaced it. We can't be done with them. You realize that yesterday you did physical training and none of you successfully made it back to me within the time limit that would have counted as a pass, right?
There was a major problem.
So
of
there
the
was
hat
a time
variety.
limit.
I thought I did pretty good.
Armis, you were remarkably agile.
That's the first nice thing you've said to me in months.
See-
Can I just walk right into the thing?
You just walk up and
See?
are sucked into the simulatrix.
That's why.
Davroid second.
Okay.
See, this is why I asked if there was a time limit, and you would put on all these words and try to distract me from the objective of figuring
Right
out
now,
their
Frode, the objective is for you to check out what's inside the simulatrix and do another training exercise where you're responding to an issue.
Is it timed?
No.
Okay. And he just takes one slow step after another, slowly into it.
You take a couple slow steps, and then Jasper waves his hand again, and the simulatrix floats over and bops you in the arm.
I am never, ever going to enjoy this, Willard said as he walks up and touches it.
If you
Finally.
pretend it's not magical, it's probably kind of cool. And then you disappear into it. You find yourselves in a building where there is a bustling crowd. In fact, it seems like there's some kind of feast or perhaps ceremonial event going on. And the moment, unpauses as the last of you appears. All of you are just kind of scattered around the room. You quickly notice each other. Frode, being the biggest is pretty easy to clock. But you all kind of notice each other at different corners of the room. It's a wide room. Think like a reception hall or something like that. And there's big banquet tables running the length of it, 3 or 4 of them with a big array of food and stuff on them, banners hanging from the walls. This is probably one of the central town halls. Each tier has a town hall at the center of it. This is probably one of those buildings. And on one wall on the far side of the room, you see simulated Earl Coalfoot, the Ruby Knight. And he is holding a finger to his lips, motioning for you to be quiet to not disturb the patrons. And he points to the corner closest to Davroid. Davroid, you see 3 rats skittering along the floor, but their eyes are glowing with bright red energy of some kind of arcane something that has kind of disturbed them and kind of, stirred them up or whatever. As they begin running along, you see that little tongues of flame are kind of trailing behind them. And that is the situation we find ourselves in. Yes?
DM?
Yep.
Are there people wearing hats in this room?
You know what? Probably. Let's roll a hat check. Jake, roll a d10, and Mike, roll a d10, and Davroid, roll a d10.
Okay.
Now, depending if there are not hats, can I do a speed check to, if there are hats, to look away?
You mean like
I
to
guess
not
that
notice
doesn't
them
make
at all?
sense.
Yeah, that doesn't. You could,
Yeah,
if
that
you've seen them
doesn't make
already, you've
sense.
seen them.
Yeah.
Got a 6 on mine. Yep.
Is it possible if this goes poorly, since I was the first one, and there are hats, can I try and find my way to Frode as soon as he gets in there and try and squirt some spider gook in his eyes?
It sounds like a terrific player intrusion for you to have navigated yourself to where you think Frode is going to jump in, so that you're there to kind of blindfold him or whatever as soon as he appears. Do you have an XP you want to burn on that?
I do, yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. That's a great player intrusion. So you're there and you've got some means of blindfolding him. It can be spidery gook, or you can have a fabric, or whatever you want it to be. But you've got some means of blindfolding Frode.
Yeah. I'll take a simulated tablecloth or something off of an empty table.
Yeah. I imagine you doing the cool James Bond walk where you're weaving through the patrons, you rip it off and all the glasses and stuff are still standing, just a little wobble.
Hey!
Yeah.
Dinner to show, people.
And you blindfold Frode. Okay, what are we doing besides that?
Why am I blindfolded?
Don't worry. There's HATs in here.
Oh, I see you spelled it. I understand.
Thought that might be, names have power. Where is the rats? You say like
Davroid is the only one who knows where they are at the moment because they were on his corner.
Okay.
I mean, you all saw pointing in that direction, but only Davroid has
Yeah.
seen them.
So you said how many are there?
There are 3 right now that you can see.
And they're glowing.
They have glowing red eyes, and as they move, little tongues of fire are trailing behind them.
Okay. Can I try and catch one?
Sure, you can roll a speed task and try and catch one.
Alrighty, I will do that.
They are level 3 creatures, so your target roll is 12. I'm sorry, your target roll is 9.
Oh, okay.
Armis, what's going on?
I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like Davroid's got some business off
17.
of the corner.
17, you successfully catch one of them. As you grab it, it erupts in flame. The fire races up your arms and sets your clothes on fire a little bit, and you take 3 points of might damage from the flames, and you are actively on fire. Does anyone else want to contribute to this, round of combat, or is he going to take another action? You all
Willard
see
is going-
him catch fire for sure.
Willard is going to try to get to where Davroid is, but since he is so short and so small, and he did not wear his hat to this occasion, he is going to see if he can duck underneath the tables to get there in a straighter path.
Yeah,
so he
easy.
doesn't have to bob and weave around people. He's ducking underneath tables and stuff. So is he able to get there in time to kind of see what's going on?
Yeah, certainly. He makes
Okay.
it over there, and he sees as probably he gets there, as the flames are kind of starting to really crackle and roar, and get to where they're going to be.
And does he have another action this round, or is he able to do an action this round, or is that
would
too
be
long
a
of a
speed
move?
task of 4, which we eased to 3 for him
Okay.
to get another action.
Okay.
So he moved a short distance.
He did not make that. He rolled a 7.
Okay. So he is not able to take another action. It's still a lot, even when you're on the ground level. There's a lot of feet to weave around and stuff. Armis,
Armis.
Thrupp, what you up to?
Can I get just an idea of what kind of event we're at and if people have noticed the fire just at this moment?
Certainly, roll an intellect task for me. You can't fail this, but the higher you roll, the more information you glean in that split second of looking around.
Okay, gotcha. And I am sharp-eyed.
Oh yeah, so add 3 to it for your sharp-eyed.
3. With that +3, it will be a 17.
Oh, 17. You learn lots and lots. This event is a banquet celebrating Midsummer's Eve, which is, for other places in the world, a solstice. And so this is the night before the solstice. And the different banners and stuff are different noble houses, which indicates to you, with your diplomatic past, that you are on one of the lowest 3 tiers. Probably tier 3, because tiers 2 and 1 would never have rats at a banquet. So you're probably on tier 3 in their gemstone hall, the town hall at the center of that tier. The people here is kind of a who's who of faces you recognize from a different life. They're all a little bit older than you remember them being, but they're, you can see all kinds of different people here between the ambassador from Hishala, and you can see some of the different nobility from Udril and the different clans there, and just all these different kinds of important people and presences. And you can tell that if this event were to devolve into panic and someone were to be injured or harmed, it would be not just like a crisis for that person, it would be a diplomatic problem of that person went to Gaim for a celebration and got injured. This is some kind of between nations issue that we're trying to prevent here. You can also tell that the people who are here are the most likely to panic. They are all of the the paper pushers and they're not your brave warrior types. They're your kind of squeamish, fancy nobility who have always had everything done for them their whole lives. Okay. And you also know that because of that, they are probably susceptible to distraction if there were something to make them look away from a crisis.
Yeah,
Armis,
I am
what is happening?
definitely just go along with this. I'm going to, just in case this simulation, you said they're older, they might remember me and not be too fond of me. I'm going to try and make some sort of, I don't know if I can do very quick makeshift little cloak or something to cover myself. But I'm also going to
I guess you've got that tablecloth.
I've got the tablecloth. Well, part of it is I'll have part of it ripped off and put onto Frode and to cover their eyes.
Okay.
And I will use my spin identity to just do a different voice. So
Oh,
just
sure.
in case anyone knows what the heck I am. And I get up in front of attention, ladies and gentlemen. We have a wonderful show of events for you tonight. Everyone, look at me. Look at me. I
And-
have here.
They are all turning to you.
This, I have with me the biggest, the strongest, the most dazzling rock man this side of time. Watch as they flex their muscles. Just the other night, I saw them transform an ordinary fireplace into the most extravagant thing. Everyone, this is also the most intelligent little rock person that this side of time. Anyone, ask them a question, and they will imbue you with their wisdom of the stone and the mountain.
The crowd immediately begins roaring out questions. One of them goes, "If the taxes continue increasing in the West, what will that have? What implications will that have for the politics of the East?"
Yes. And before they go on, I will have to say they speak in a cryptic language, in a way that might seem nonsensical, and so I will translate whatever they say.
Roll an intellect task. This would be a difficulty 8 for these people. However, they are distracted by your spun voice. We're going to ease it to a 7. You are an expert diplomat. We're going to ease it to a 6. And then any other assets or effort you want to do, you can use to continue easing it.
I'm trained in deception.
Great. That'll ease it to a 5.
And I will. I don't have a feeling anymore, and I will put in a little bit of effort because I really want this to go
Sure.
well. I want
you ease it
Jasper
to a
have-
difficulty 4 with a target roll of 12.
Okay. All right. One question at a time. Here we go. Oh no, it's a 10.
You could spend an XP to
May
re-roll it if you
I-
want it.
With the yes, I will do that.
Okay.
Do 1 XP to reroll.
You would need to spend the cost again for your effort and stuff, but you can
Can
still
I-
re-roll.
Use my effort to make what I say at least helpful to him.
Yeah, actually, why don't you? We'll just call that easy, like assisting him. So you'll spend 3 points from your intellect pool. I love that you lean forward to your character sheet with your blindfold on. 3 points from your intellect pool, and Mike, that'll ease your task by another 1, so that'll drop it to a 9.
Okay, doke, super. And I have used my effort once more just
Exceptional.
to make it nice.
Yep.
Please, God. Please, Jasper. Oh, 14, baby. Thank
14. You are successful. The entire crowd taken in by what you're doing.
Ah, yes. You plant the crops in the West and you scout the earth. The East will see what you have salted and done.
Basically, they're saying that putting money into agriculture is going to be very good for the future of the country. Next question.
To do it. someone else chimes in. All right, so if I've got 5 pumpkins and a potato, and then I go to the store and they have a tax on potatoes, so instead I have to sell my 5 pumpkins, but I want to keep some of the pumpkins. What is the best? Where's the point of diminishing returns, where it's the right amount of pumpkins to sell in order to fetch another potato without running out of pumpkins? Because obviously, I mean, you can't have a party without pumpkins. Let's be real here. What would you say is the point of diminishing returns?
The return of the pumpkin shall be that at which you value orange upon your soul.
It's a tricky economy. You are most likely going to have to invest in other incomes, other products, other crops. Pumpkins, they're not all they're cracked up to be. Pumpkins are out. Next question.
Meanwhile, Davroid is on fire and Willard is over there. Let's cut back to them. Actually, sorry, the rats, I guess, have a turn. So 2 of the rats are going to run off and skitter away into the distance. However, they have, as of yet, not caused any fires. The other rat that is in your hand is still burning, and Davroid is on fire actively. And so as we come around to the next round, let's start that round with Davroid taking another 3 points of fire damage.
Yep. He would like to continue holding it and take out his dagger and just stab the rat as to not let it run amok among the crowd.
Great. That would be an attack roll of 3, but it'll be eased to 2 because you have it grappled. That's a status that'll give you an advantage.
I got a 6.
6. That is exactly a difficulty of 2. So you have stabbed the rat with your dagger. Is that a light dagger or a medium dagger?
It's a light weapon.
Light dagger. So that'll deal 2 points of damage. The rat, as a level 3 creature, has 3 hit points. So I'm sorry. No, the rat as a level 3 creature has 9 hit points. So you have stabbed it, and it's a little bit of blood or whatever, but it's like it's not dead in your hand there.
I have a question. Does the Cypher of Invisibility make everything that I'm holding invisible?
It would make like your clothes and stuff invisible, but not your equipment. So if you draw a sword, the sword becomes visible.
Okay.
Yeah. Davroid on fire has stabbed the rat. Also, as a reminder to the players, you can spend a level of effort, and instead of easing the attack roll, you can add 3 points of damage. So that's an option that you have available as well. Davroid, do you want to? I'm sorry, not Davroid. Willard, would you like to do anything as you see Davroid?
Yes.
burning?
Willard is first gonna ask. Would you like me to help with the fire, or can I? And he kind of like references his knives to the other rats.
Fire, please.
Willard,
I don't want to let this go, but I can't keep holding it.
Willard will take off his duster jacket and like kind of whip it against Davroid as like something to like extinguish the flames, like whoop, 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 almost like you're trying to like shake out a rug to get all the crap off of it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. That seems like a speed task to me.
Okay.
And it's a difficulty 3.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what we got.
All right. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Ooh, nice.
If you spent any points or abilities, you get them back, and you were gained the benefit of a major effect. What kind of major effect would you like to gain in addition to accomplishing this?
I think he's able to like kind of get out the fire on Davroid, but then also with the jacket in a way where it stuns the rat that Davroid is holding. And like the rat may fall on the ground, but it's not moving anymore. It's like kind of like, holy crap, what just hit me kind of a thing.
Awesome. That rat is stunned, and it will miss its round or its action this round of combat. We cut back from the two of them to Armis and Frode, who are fielding question.
If animals could talk, which one would be the most annoying?
Yes, that what squeals is what deals, but that Pex will not have one hex.
But the most annoying would probably be a pigeon because they're really big and they yell a lot. And for this next trick, we are going to do it's a more magical thing. We are going to have my rock friend here. What is your name, rock friend? What's your mystical performing rock name?
Boulder!
Boulder! The amazing Boulder can also read minds. But I need you all to focus. I need everyone to close their eyes deeply and plug your ears and channel all of your energy inward into your mind. And think of a number. And when Boulder here discovers what your number is, they are going to come over to you, tap you on the shoulder, you unplug your ears, and they will say what your number was. But to do that, you all need to close your eyes really tight and think really hard, and it might take a few minutes. Because realize they're going to be going around to other people, and so they're going to tap on those people, so that it might take a while before they get to you. So if you haven't tapped on for a while, it's just because they're getting around the room and they're going to do this for everybody, okay?
Roll an intellect task. It's a difficulty 6, hindered by 1 to 7, because you're trying to give the crowd a command that should last for a long time, but it's like a bunch of people. So difficulty 7 right now before any eases or skills or whatever are applied to it. Frode's performance is an asset, so we'll say that eases it by 1 back to 6.
My wisdom demands patience.
Can I deceive? Can I just like deceive and really, really ham it up and really make them believe that this is something that they can do and it's worth the wait?
That sounds like applying a lot of effort.
Okay. Oh God.
Well, if you're skilled in deception, I think you already get to lower it by 1.
Yeah, you
right?
can use your training in deception if you have that.
Yep.
Yeah,
so that'll
I'll do
ease it by
that.
another 1. Now it's a difficulty 5.
Okay.
You could apply effort to lower it to a 4.
I'm definitely gonna put some effort in there.
Okay, lowers it to a 4.
Okay. Yeah. So then we'll go with that. We'll go with the 12's gonna have to do it.
Difficulty 4, target roll of 12.
I believe.
Oh, it's a 15, baby.
It's a 15.
Nice.
The crowd closes their eyes and plugs their ears. And you have bought yourself maybe 4 or 5 rounds before the first person, opens their eyes. That's like a whole minute, basically, before someone opens their eyes or unplugs their ears. So you bought yourself...
Frode, I'm gonna guide you over. It looks like there's some big rats or something on fire. We need to beat the shit out of them while everyone's distracted.
If they're rats and they're on fire, I'll sit in the corner and you herd them to me. I can't catch fire.
I don't know if herding fire rats across the room is a great idea. Just please follow me.
All right. I trust you.
Okay, we'll say that it takes you this whole round to lead him over there just because he's doing it blind and you're trying not to tap anybody, which would trigger them to unplug their ears and their eyes. The one rat misses its round, but the other 2 rats who are out there are skittering around. One of them's going to touch something flammable. A curtain or maybe one of the banners along the walls just roars into flames. And we now see...
my wisdom, it burns!
And that brings us to your all's turn.
Davroid would like to drop the dagger, pull out an axe, and hit the rat with his axe now.
Okay.
The stunned one.
Sure.
And he's going to spend effort for the damage.
Awesome. So the rat's a level 3 creature, so the difficulty to hit it is 9. The target roll is 9.
I got a 14.
14 successfully hits it, and your level of effort adds 3 damage to whatever your axe is. That medium?
Yeah, it's me.
So that's 4 points of damage plus 3 for 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. This rat is dead. You just chop its head off with the axe. And that's one of them dead. What about the rest of the party? What would y'all like to do?
Willard is going
do I get a
to...
movement?
You can move and take an action like that, but you need to succeed on a speed task of 4. If you fail the speed task, then you fall over somewhere, and I get to pick where you trip.
Okay. I'll just wait then.
Okay.
Willard is going to whip back on his probably somewhat smoking duster jacket and try to run over to the next nearest fire rat. Once again, willing to kind of duck under. It doesn't even have to duck to run underneath tables to get there.
Great. Let's do that speed task of 4 to take an action when you get there.
Yep. 13.
13
Let's
passes
go.
a 12, so you
Passed.
can also take your action.
All right. He's going to get there, and once he is within striking distance, doesn't have to be super close because he's all about his throwing knives. He's going to immediately take out a knife and whip it that way. He is trained in his light weapons, which eases it by 1.
Perfect. So that's a difficulty of 2. Target roll of 6.
Guess who rolled a 5?
Ah, nuts. He throws an axe, but it does not connect.
And he just like it's like squints at the throwing knife like in the wooden floor next to the rat, just kind of like not believing that he just missed, and shakes his head.
Okay. Armis and Frode, what will you be doing this round?
Armis, I gotta know where to go.
I'm gonna guide them to wherever the nearest rat is so that they can probably stomp on it or punch it.
Okay.
Or, if you could pick this, I'll lead you to a rat, and you. Oh God, is Willard anywhere near? How close are they to?
Willard
the
is
other
under a
rats?
table somewhere because he just threw a knife from like as close as he, as far as he could be while still being in range. So
Okay.
Willard's under a table. So you could probably, I would say the odds are in favor of Frode not seeing them, but I will make you roll at the end of this round a d6, and if you roll a 1, then you spot it.
Yep. Okay, Frode, I'm going to lead you to in front of the rat. I want you to look down. You can peek up, find where the rat is, pick it up, and just kind of squeeze it.
Oh, Willard didn't bring his hat, so it's just the guest's hat.
No, but
Yeah.
but Willard it may have been under a table, but his like snout is sticking out from underneath the
Okay.
tablecloth, I would say.
Okay.
Davroid could also point out where the rats went.
Sure. So Davroid tells you where they went. Frode, are you attacking him? Cleo's eyes are adjusting to not wearing the blindfold. Chat, I just want you to understand the level of commitment that Cleo has been employing, which, by the way, take an XP for this. Cleo has literally blindfolded herself for all of the scenes in this story where you've heard Armis put a blindfold on Frode.
It's true.
So,
If I take off the blindfold for the brief moment, and I don't want to say anything and accidentally think I'm saying a number, and I look down. Do I see the rat?
yes, you can see a rat.
All right. I will use my cipher of suspend energy and try to see if it will suspend the rat. Since it seems to be made of flames.
The rat is not made of flames. It's a normal rat. It is trailing flames. But you could use your Cypher of Suspend Energy on the banner that caught fire, and it would suck the fire out of that banner and turn it into a bead of suspended energy.
Well, I probably... Did you know there's a fire over there, Armis?
What an observation. Please help.
All right, I'll just try to pick up the rat.
Okay. Rat's level 3. To just like grab it, I guess that's maybe a task to catch it. So speed.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Target roll of 9.
Can I make little rat noises? Like,
No.
they're like attracted?
I do not think that is a skill that you possess.
I say if anybody could, it'd be Willard, but that's,
And I make little rat noises.
I mean, I'm still gonna make what I think
your,
are rat
your
noises.
stone vocal cords and stone lips can make rat noises.
Yo, what is
All right, here we go.
Oh my
Oh, that's a 16 to pick up the rat.
You successfully pick up a rat, which promptly bursts into flames and would set you on fire if you were flammable. However, your clothing is flammable. Your canvas shorts and your generic like t-shirt both catch fire. You don't take. Well, you probably still take damage from it. You don't have an invulnerability to fire, do you?
I'm just made of stone.
Yeah. So
I'm a golem.
yeah. So you still take maybe a little heat damage.
Okay.
You take. We'll cut it in half for you. So it was 3. We'll cut it to 1.
Okay.
1 point of heat damage to your might pool.
I'll just hold this one.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Next.
Do you want me to pick up the other one?
What the? I mean, I would also. I don't. We need to do something about the flaming banner. I don't think a bunch of diplomats will really respond well to
I
one
should-
of the.
Can I use my cipher? I've already picked up a rat.
you can
have
next
any
round.
action economy.
Yeah,
Okay.
next round you can.
Oh, look how cute he is.
He's just over there to the little rat he's picked up. Armis, are you doing anything?
Oh God. Can I do like a similar like stunning strike? Can I take like my cane and just whale one in the head, whatever one is not being not
sure.
dead or held?
Roll. You can choose might or speed for that, but roll an attack against the rat, level 3.
I'll do a speed, please. 11.
11. That passes a 9. You hit it.
Oh yeah, baby.
That deals. What level weapon is your cane? Is it light, medium, or heavy? If we did not specify, I would call a cane in general light.
Yeah, we can go with light.
Okay, so that's.
I don't know if we specified.
2 points of damage as you bam whap the rat, and it kind of like gets knocked over or whatever. It does not seem like you've stunned it or anything like that, but it's it'll keep skittering, but you've knocked it off course.
It is a cane sword if that gives it any more damage.
Did you
If it
draw
gives
the
it any
sword
more
out?
Heft. No, but it's heavier.
I'll call
I
it
don't know if
medium.
I'm-
That's fair.
Yeah.
We'll call it
Yay.
medium, so that's 4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you hit it for 4 points of damage, which brings us to the rat's turns. There's only one rat, which you've just hit with a cane. It's definitely going to try and escape you. So,
I stunned it.
no, you didn't Is stun a?
I don't know. I thought that
it's
Willard
what
used his.
I used a player intrusion to do that. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
then
can
I
use a
just
player
whacked.
intrusion if you wanted to be stunned.
That costs an XP.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want
Sure.
this problem to be
You
done.
smack it really hard, it bounces off the wall and kind of flips onto its back, and it's stunned. So it's not going to move, and the other two are grappled. No, one's dead. So there's a rat grappled in Frode's hand that is burning in his hand actively, as well as Frode's clothes. Frode, take another 1 point of damage as you're still on fire at the beginning of the round.
Fiery boy.
The banner that is burning, Trevor, roll a d6. If it's a 1, then the fire's going to spread from that banner.
Okay. It's a 4.
All right, the fire does not spread this round, but there is some smoke beginning to fill the room.
I'm blocking my view of everybody below head level, and I will hold out my free arm while looking straight up, and I will cast my Cypher to zoink the fire into my hand.
Okay. The tattoo kind of dissolves off of your rocky skin, and you kind of feel it's like a little pebble in your hand. And the pebble's kind of like a reddish orange, like the fire. And now you have a pebble in one hand and a rat that is on fire in the other hand.
I know it looks tasty, but you don't want to eat that. Oh, well, I don't have pockets anymore.
Both hands are occupied.
Willard is going to throw another knife at the stunned rat that Armis just got.
Okay.
And he, once again, is trained in his light weapon.
Indeed.
And he rolled a 12.
A 12! That's enough.
And he does 4 damage because of his throwing feature.
Armis, you smack the rat aside with your cane, and then as it kind of flips over and, twitches a little bit, you just see a throwing knife spiral in from out of nowhere and kind of impale it against the wall there, and that rat is dead. Now there's just the rat in Frode's hand that Frode's just cooing at.
All right. I've put my blindfold back on. Can somebody lead me to the nice gentleman that was at the beginning?
Me? Me? Did you mean me, Frode?
There you are. Let me. There's people in the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with a GM intrusion that you accidentally bump into a person who takes their ears out and opens their eyes to hear their number, and instead looks over and sees the smoking remains of the banner, which happens to be from their nation.
29.
I try and very quickly get over there and get my hands in over their eyes and mouth. Keep them screaming.
Roll.
A now naked rock man right next to them with a flaming rat. 29.
Was I right?
To get there before this person opens their eyes.
Will I say that me saying a number directly in their face shock them into silence?
Yeah,
Easy
that's what I was
to
about to
test?
say.
That can ease the speed task by 1, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna use.
difficulty.
I'm gonna use some effort to get that down to a 4.
Rufus here said your number's 29.
Oh, if that effort got it down to a 12, that's a 13.
Yep, you. So what are you doing before they have noticed the banner? What is your play here?
I want to get in. I guess before they notice the banner, I want to get in front of them, in the periphery of where that would be. Just stand in front of them. Oh, 29! Isn't that incredible? And then just get a dazzling array of all 3 sets of my arms. Magic! You've been got.
They're so surprised that they can't remember their number anymore, and they're like, I think it might have been 29. I think it might have been 29. Oh my god,
yes,
that's amazing! Wow.
620, and then I just hold my hands to them and shush them. It's like, yes, but don't ruin it for anyone else.
Oh, right. I'll. And he covers his eyes again and flexes.
Thank you so much. For the love of God, Frode, squeeze the life out of that rat.
But why? He's fine where
Can I take my cane sword and draw it out and just plunge it into the rat while they're holding it?
Yes. The rat was target 3. It's going to be eased to a 2 because it is held in place. So that's just a difficulty of 6.
Please don't let me stab my friend.
Also, the banner's not on fire because.
But it's all burnt
it's not
up.
there
Burnt
anymore.
up. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a 1.
It's a 1. You stab the rat, which kills it, but you also stab Frode, who is blindfolded and can't make any move to avoid it. Frode takes a full-on stab from your sword cane,
I'm so sorry,
and
Frode.
is dealt 4 points of might damage as it just stabs right into you.
I'm gonna get you some really good alcohol after this. We're gonna have a really good time around the fireplace. We're gonna talk about it, okay? Just so loud.
I think
it's
you're
not even
screaming,
coming
but
through.
Discord's canceling it out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ruffles!
Still happens.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
Is this thing working?
It's now.
Okay. Ruffles!
Oh, the name of the rat.
Oh God.
I'm going to hit you with another GM intrusion. Oh, by the way, for that last one, Mike and Cleo can have the 1 XP. I'm going to hit you with another GM intrusion that Frode is so surprised and upset that he pulls the blindfold off to look at Armis and instead sees a hat on a party goer,
No.
which you can refuse for 1
Josh.
XP. Yes?
Armis?
Can I see him see the hat?
If it happens. I don't know if he's going to refuse it yet.
Oh, okay.
I
I
guess
have something I can do.
Does she have to use the XP or can I use some?
I'll use the XP.
Oh, okay. Frode is going to use the XP to refuse the intrusion, so never mind. So no, Frode, you do not see the hat then. You were just stabbed.
Why would you... now I have to go touch people with a bloody ratted hand and tell them their numbers.
It's okay. I think they're really gonna enjoy it. I think it'll add a whole lot of razzle dazzle to the thing. Are all the rats dead?
The crowd
You owe
and
me a Ruffles.
this burnt-
everything
we have
freezes.
this
You hear
burnt
your
banner.
voices kind of echoing around to you. For the love of God, let's run this again.
We were doing so well.
And on that note, tonight's adventure at the Winged Badger Tavern comes to a close.
God. Again?
We got the teamwork
Now-
down.
I was about to ask, how much XP is it to earn a permanent, like,
4.
useful trait or
3
or
XP
something?
for a long-term trait. And if you were thinking of being trained in navigating and fighting with a blindfold on, I was thinking that would be a great 3 XP buy for Frode.
Our brains are. You're thinking of the number 7. 29.
That's a new addition to the voice.
Josh.
Yeah, you're right. That is a new addition. I literally laughed so hard that I cried and it fogged up my glasses.
That's awesome.
I would like to spend 4 XP to add 1 edge to speed roll after the physical training.
That's a great idea. That totally makes sense. Before we spend too much more of our XP, let's go over the XP we earned tonight. The first thing that we need to talk about is our quest and character arcs. In the quest arc, towards uncovering a secret, I feel like we haven't really made any progress there. But your party arc of becoming a team and establishing, I think that campfire talk was like a big step on your progress towards kind of like learning to trust each other and becoming a team. So I would say that counts as a step for the party. Would you all agree?
Yeah, agree?
All right, so that's 2 XP for each of you from that. And then we have your individual character journeys. So let's just start at Willard and we'll kind of go down the same way we did with introductions. Do you feel like Willard took any important steps tonight?
I would say the closest thing to that would be like referencing things in his past to the rest of the group. And that's sort of a step. I personally don't know if he's taken any major steps. In his arc, the next steps would be like performing, like if your I'm reading from the arc. If your reputation was tarnished, you perform deeds to restore your good name. I don't know if he necessarily did any of that in this session. If
You
that
don't
makes
think that
sense.
him rolling down a hill trying to save his hat counts towards restoring his
No.
reputation?
Not really.
I would agree
so-
with you based on what you just said.
Yeah, I think he's, it's not to say that he's like not developing. I think he's making small steps to like trusting everyone, but I think his major arc he didn't necessarily do anything for in this episode.
I think I would agree with that. That makes sense. How about you, Armis? How do you feel?
I also don't feel I did a whole lot. If anything, I maintain being a shithead by being very mean about the fire.
That's
He
fair.
did apologize,
He
though.
did
He did
apologize.
Has he ever apologized before?
I don't think he's ever really done it super earnestly.
So that might
maybe-
be a step.
if you want to give it to me, I'll take it.
It's
But,
for
I
the
think
players
the earnest
to decide.
apology. Well, here's my thought. The earnest apology led to you and Armis and Frode being like a duo, an effective duo in this training exercise.
That's true.
And I think that's an actionable, like something that's demonstrably like a progress compared to last time. So, I think so.
I agree.
I'm tracking with it. All right, so let's give Armis 2 XP for that step he took. How about Davroid Gravelheart? Do you feel like he took any steps today on his journey to kind of redemption and establishment as someone of importance?
Maybe it depends on if his conversation with Jasper influenced Jasper more positively to him, and whether the training obviously was a hindrance because he didn't perform very well in that, and I'm guessing the simulation did not look favorably towards Jasper.
I'm thinking that commitment to I'm gonna try my hardest to whatever probably had a positive impact on Jasper. I would think that he would be, especially considering what he's got to work with as far as like the moral character of the rest of his team. I think hearing that from Davroid is that's probably encouraging for him. What do you guys think as players?
I think that makes sense. I mean, there was obviously like a whole dedicated scene where we, I felt like we were able to see more peeks at what Davroid is all about and what he's trying to do, and I think his communication with Jasper in that it's definitely a progression.
And Frode, the Forsaken, steps towards getting his ridiculous situation resolved. Do you feel like he took any major steps today?
Well, I think he's uncovered a little bit of, some clues about what happened to him, and also learned to trust somebody a little bit. Not fully, but just a little bit. I'd say those are some steps.
Sure. What do you guys think as players?
I just don't know enough about what Frode's going through to really have a good answer, honestly.
That's fair.
I really liked
Frode's character journey overall is to remove a curse. So Frode's trying to take steps towards escaping from or removing a curse. I'm sure you can read between the lines as to what the curse might have to do with. But Frode is trying to
it's
figure
related
out.
to pants.
Frode also.
I guess if the fire story was something, and also like taking this, I guess taking the skill isn't like removing the curse, but it's like working around it.
I was
That's
just
true.
going to say, I wonder if the fire story, you said that Frode was maybe learning for the first time what happened. That might be an important step towards removing the curse, too.
I would say
That's true.
definitely. It was. I thought it was just gonna be a silly thing for the extravagant fireplace, but it was a really fun little insight. To
I did think
Frode.
at first you were doing a Shaggy Dog joke where you just
Yeah, it was just gonna
paused
keep
like you were
on
done with
going.
the scene, and then you were like, and the inlays in the fireplace, and like the story kept going, and Mike and I both lost it when you did that. But then it turned out to be like a scene, and you were actually doing something.
It becomes
but-
like one of those little, in like a live action movie, and then they suddenly cut to an animated flashback of like a legend. That was what I was imagining.
Definitely.
That's what I was trying to conjure.
It was really
was good.
cool. Once I figured out
was
what you
cool.
were doing, I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
back in. But there was a brief moment where Mike and I both just like fell away from our microphones laughing because I thought you were just doing the bit. That's awesome. I think that was super fun. I also think that everybody have 1 XP just for being in the presence of that 29 joke. That was I don't even know how to feel about it other than it was amazing.
A crazy number too.
Yeah. Love that. A+ moment for you all as a group here. So that's good.
I'll be honest, I didn't realize the absurdity of it until you described it, Mike. That I'm like naked, holding
On
a
fire,
rat.
holding
Yeah.
a rat that's bursting into flames. Well, next Monday, no stream. We're taking the week off. And then the Monday after that, we'll be back with another session, and we'll pick up from there. If you want to learn our schedule further out in advance, you can join our Discord using the About section of our Twitch. There's a link right there that'll get you into the Discord. And you can even talk to the players during the week. For our players, in the next 2 weeks, they're going to be discussing in that Discord what kind of furnishings they want to purchase for their little cabin area up there in the mountains. But until then, from all of us here at the Winged Badger Tavern, GG's and GN.